Have you ever felt like you deserved more? Maybe a better position at work or more recognition in your community. It's a very human feeling, but what happens when that feeling of deserving more turns into a full-blown rebellion against leadership? Today, we're diving into a dramatic and cautionary tale from the Old Testament, the story of Korah's rebellion. This isn't just an ancient story, it's a powerful lesson about pride, authority, and the serious consequences of challenging God's chosen leaders. So, who was Korah? He wasn't just some random guy in the Israelite camp. He was a Levite from the same tribe as Moses and Aaron. In fact, he was their cousin. The Levites had a special role. They were set apart to serve in the tabernacle, God's dwelling place. Korah, specifically, was a Kohathite, a group responsible for carrying the most sacred objects of the tabernacle, like the Ark of the Covenant. This was a high and holy calling, a privileged position close to the presence of God. But for Korah, it wasn't enough. He looked at Moses, the leader of all of Israel, and his own brother, Aaron, the high priest, and his heart filled with envy. He thought, why them? We're all holy. The whole community of Israel is set apart by God. Why do Moses and Aaron get to be in charge? This seed of discontent began to grow, and Korah started to gather others who felt the same way. He wasn't alone in his feelings. He found allies in Dathan and Abiram from the tribe of Reuben. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn son, and his tribe might have felt they had a natural right to leadership that had been given to Moses instead. And 250 other well-respected leaders from the community, they formed a powerful coalition. They had influence, they had numbers, and they had a complaint they were ready to make public. One day, they assembled and confronted Moses and Aaron directly. They said, "You have gone too far. The whole community is holy, every one of them, and the Lord is with them. Why then do you set yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" Imagine the scene. 250 community leaders standing with Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, publicly accusing Moses and Aaron of grabbing power for themselves. It was a direct challenge, not just to their leadership, but to the very structure God had established for his people. How did Moses react? He didn't lash out in anger. The Bible says he fell face down, a sign of humility and distress. He knew this wasn't just a political squabble. This was a rebellion against God himself. After praying, Moses stood up and proposed a test. He told Korah and his followers, "Tomorrow morning, the Lord will show who belongs to him and who is holy." He instructed them to take their fire pans, their censers, put fire and incense in them, and present them before the Lord at the tabernacle entrance. Aaron would do the same. God himself would choose who he accepted, But Dathan and Abiram refused to even come. When Moses sent for them, they replied with defiance. Isn't it enough that you brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness? And now you want to lord it over us, too. It's ironic, isn't it? They're calling Egypt the land of their slavery, a land flowing with milk and honey, twisting the promise of Canaan against Moses. Their hearts were completely hardened. The next day arrived. Korah and his 250 followers stood at the entrance to the tabernacle, censers in hand, ready for the divine showdown. The entire community of Israel gathered to watch. Suddenly, the glory of the Lord appeared to everyone, telling them to move away from the assembly, because he was about to consume them all in an instant. But Moses and Aaron pleaded for the people. They begged God not to destroy everyone for the sin of one man's rebellion. In his mercy, God listened. He commanded Moses to tell the people to move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Moses warned everyone, "This is how you will know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things, and that it was not my idea. If these men die a natural death, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord brings about something totally new, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them, you will know that these men have treated the Lord with contempt." No sooner had he finished speaking than the ground beneath the tents of Dathan and Abiram split wide open. The earth swallowed them, their families, and all their possessions. They went down alive into the grave, and the earth closed over them. At the same time, a fire blazed out from the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were offering incense. It was a swift, terrifying, and unmistakable judgment. The story of Korah is a sobering reminder about the dangers of pride and envy. Korah had an honorable role, but he coveted a role that wasn't his. He confused universal holiness with universal leadership, forgetting that God appoints specific people for specific tasks. This story challenges us to examine our own hearts. Do we serve faithfully where God has placed us? Or are we constantly looking over at someone else's role with jealousy? True holiness is found not in seeking power, but in humble service to the God who gives us every good thing. Thanks for watching, and if this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the Bible. See you next time.